everyone tonight. Welcome to Living in the Light. I'm Mary, and I'm coming live from New York, and I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truest potential, cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. How is everyone today on this Monday evening in the Matrix work week? It's December 5th. Wow, here we are. And isn't December turning out to be the most beautiful month that we've had in years, because so much positivity is coming down upon us. It's like raining hope and love and light. And I'm feeling it. Are you feeling it? Are you sensing the shift? We're all evolving. Mother Earth is healing as well as us. We are all repairing and healing for whatever's happened to us. And today we're going to get into topics like depopulation, divine truths, and highly advanced humans. Are you a highly advanced human? I think you are. I always say that you're a sacred being of light. And so we're going to touch on all of that. Of course, we're going to mention angels and psychic phenomenon. Now, this morning, when you woke up, did you remember any of your dreams? I'm here also to apologize that I did not have a 7 o'clock on Friday evening. I was exhausted. I was just trying to catch up. I've been trying to catch up for a while now, and I think I'm fully caught up because I have so much energy. I have bursts of energy that are just beaming out of me. Do you ever feel that way? So, did you have any dreams this weekend? Now, I had a bunch of dreams this week, and I'm going to mention to you tonight. One of our topics is about being a highly advanced human, and you are, and I am, and anyone who's awakened knows that. We have these light codes that are activating our DNA. And so when you go to sleep and you're waking up, or you're in the midst of falling into a sleep, you might see with your eyes closed some kind of visual. Now, maybe you're going to experience something that looks like this. And it's not necessarily going to be black and white. It might be color. For me, it's been blue, or it's been light. So it's a gray background with light. And what I'm trying to share with you is these light codes are actually sacred, ancient, sacred, meaningful codes that we have in our DNA. And so I had an experience about that this weekend. So what I saw was I saw one of my light codes, and I saw doves passing through. I mean, it was very primitive looking. And when I first started receiving light codes way back last September, a year ago this September, I had the same experience. It started out very primitive. Hi, T, thanks for joining us from Detroit. Yay! Anyone who's joining us, please like the video if you deem so, and hopefully you follow us and all of our videos that we put up, or I put up. But anyway, so I started having these visuals with my eyes closed a year ago, September, and it started out with very primitive. It had extraterrestrial little ships going by, and looking like little emoji faces of aliens. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I lost my mind. And at first, I didn't tell anyone. I told no one because I was kind of a little embarrassed. And I said, what is this? But I'm following, like you are, those that have become awakened. And as we awaken, more of our DNA comes online. What does that mean? We really are carrying within us memories and characteristics that have laid dormant until now. And this is the time on the globe, for all of us to awaken to a higher consciousness. And we are receiving these light codes. And so I'm going to get on to, so I had these light codes over the weekend. One of them was this. I saw doves passing through. It's very primitive looking, and light flashing by. And when it happens, your body starts to feel like it's vibrating, and it feels like you're expanding. And you are expanding. More light is coming into your system. And when more light's coming into your system, more of you is becoming available. And you begin to realize that you're not as I guess, shut down as you thought. You have much more capacity for knowledge, for information. That's Elsa. Elsa, you digging? She's digging into she's confused about that she's not digging a hole. She's digging into the couch. Oh, hey, Elsa. I guess that's a good sign. She's 9 years old. Anyway, I just wanted to bring up that. I don't know if you've had any experiences with the light codes. It might be that you have a visual of, it could be a symbol, it could be a sign, it could be a number. I also had another light code, and it had a red heart, and inside of it was a number. So it's maybe a flash. It comes through like a flash. However, whatever's involved with this flash, when it comes in and you see it, and you have this experience, it's very powerful because it has some kind of emotion that's attached to it, and you feel something when you receive a light code. It's not like a regular dream when you come out of awaking sleep. It's not like a regular dream. It's something more powerful. Now, we're going to get into how to be a highly advanced human, and we're going to speak about, wow, what's tickling my throat? I apologize. We're going to explain about having more of a connection to the divine, if you're interested, of course. And I just want to remind everybody, when you wake up or throughout your day, remind yourself to consider, what are your thoughts? Because all of our thoughts are very powerful. We create our physical reality with our thoughts. And if your thoughts are very low vibrational, low emotional, which means that you're just really beating yourself down, or you're stating to yourself, well, I can't do that, or that's going to turn out badly, or I'm just really sad, and it's constant, it's repetitive. That is the outcome you're creating. There's cause and effect, and I've mentioned that cause and effect means you literally can change the outcome. You can change the outcome with your thoughts. If you would like something to go really well with you, you have to learn to control your thoughts, which means be conscious of it. If you were writing it down on a piece of paper, or your thoughts were shown to you in front of you, what would they be? What would they be? As you begin to do this, and I've been doing this, what I found is I'm changing the outcomes, because you're putting it out there, which means everyone's receiving this impression that you're sending out there. And because you're so aware, it's very powerful. It's very powerful. And then you become tuning in. You start to begin to create premonitions. You can create outcomes. It happens. I promise you. And today we are going to do a psychic phenomenon. And I found out over the weekend, when I did the psychic phenomenon on Thursday with you, I realized when I woke up, I guess it was Thursday or Friday. So it was last week I did the psychic phenomenon. I spoke about joy. I literally woke up with a smile on my face, and I said, did I have a really good dream? But I believe it was related to our exercise of psychic phenomenon. So we're going to do some psychic phenomenon exercises, and I'm sharing with you that this is going to be healing for you. I'm a healer. I'm an intuitive coach, and I've been doing this since 2015. And so as soon as something becomes very, how should I say it? Very healing to me, I realize how to utilize it for those that I am working with. And so here we are. So let's get on to depopulation. Now, why am I mentioning depopulation? And it's a little worrisome because here I am stating it there, but I had to readjust the show tonight, because I know when I place the topics overnight, there's always glitches the next day. So I had to redo it. And that's why I redid it. So depopulation is to remove the population. And from what I am hearing and seeing, I believe that's what's been going on in our physical reality. There is some depopulation occurring. And so it's a substantial reduction in the population. It's It's an intention to remove the number of people living on the globe. I don't know if you've seen this or are aware of this. There's 8 billion people inhabiting the earth, allegedly. I mean, obviously, I'm not seeing it in front of me, and we all know I'm a truth seeker. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, depopulation sounds pretty sad. What does that mean? That means that intentionally stopping births, or actually, hey, Alexandra Morel, thank you for joining us from New York, right? And Tanika is from Detroit. Anyone else who's joining us, I hope you like the video. And I'm just here. Why am I here? Why am I in this moment? I'm to remind you to have gratitude that we're breathing and that we're here and that there's hope. Like I say, light on the horizon, like you're looking through a picture window, and beyond the sun, beyond what you can see, good things are coming, right? Beyond our vision, there are good things coming. It's good luck. Beyond a difficult situation, I'm reminding you to have hope and that you're a worthy being of light and you're a sacred being of light. There are those out there that really don't care about us. Hey, James Howard. Oh, Tanika. I experienced receiving light codes as well. I see colorful, bright, moving ink blots. Yes, the last time they were all blue. I also felt like expanded and all chakras was in alignment. Hey, maybe you're a star. You are a star seed. Are you a Palladian? I'm a Palladian. I expend all my chocolate. Yes, fantastic, T. Thanks for joining us. And James Howard. Let me see, James Howard. Where are you coming from today? Let me see. I know I have you on this list. Hold on. Where are you, James Howard? James Hadaway. Nope, that's not James Howard. James Howard, where are you coming from? I'm trying to find you. Please share with us. Why do I not have you on this list? I know you've been with us before. I'm going to have to expand this list. It's getting too small. Rye, New York. Is this James? James Howard, thanks for joining us. Well, hello, James Howard. Hello. James Howard Hoops, I know who you are now. I thought that was like, I know that name. It couldn't possibly be Hoops. Hey, Hoops, thanks for joining us. Welcome to Living in the Light. So I guess you're an awakened being of light too, like Alexandra Morel and T. Okay, there are those out there who are trying to probably exterminate us, exterminate the civilization, and start over. Because guess what? Maybe we have a little bit too much insight into what's going on. Are there 8 billion inhabiting this earth? Now, theories and ideas have increased in the last few years about climate change and the lack of resources, and that will cause crisis on Earth. So they were using this. Welcome. They were using these to basically target us. Did you hear a lot about climate change? Well, there's so much. There's climate change, and there's not going to be enough resources, so we've got to get rid of some of these people. And then they decided to give us this medicine. And what is going on? And what's going on here? Are they seeding our skies with pollutants and things that are going to, cause us to become ill, or with diseases, maybe take our systems down, deplete us so we're not feeling at our optimum? We really should all be living for 100 years, maybe 200 years. And if we continue to eat all this junk food, we don't even know what's in there, GMOs, are we going to be depopulated? Because the reality is there is plenty of food for all. There's no need for anyone to be starving or to depopulate. The governments are shutting down farms and farmers across the globe. Have you seen that? How they're cutting them out of their farms, they're shutting them down, and then they're burning some of these food factories and where they're food processing centers. I see that. I've seen that if you look at some of these little videos that are on the social media. And I know the social media and our phones were created to keep track of us, but they never considered that we have a camera and we have a video camera. And so we can basically take videos, and we're actually passing the information more rapidly than ever before in history. So our communication is fast and quick, so we know exactly what's going on out there in the world. Now, are there more deaths? Is this depopulation a serious thing? I mean, I I'm reading about people that are passing away. The suddenly died. Maybe they're dying in their sleep. Some of them are children in high school, but I don't know if it's real because I don't know anyone, and I don't believe anything unless I see it for myself in front of me. There can be some kind of press. I don't know what to believe, but I do believe that there is some kind of agenda for depopulation. So we've had these medical mandates. I'm going to whisper, and then there's the New World Order plan, which we know all about that, which originally was a conspiracy theory. And I'm a truth seeker. So I was like, oh, I can't say that for a while, but now I'm saying it. Klaus Schwab. And did he have a heart attack? And George Soros, he have a heart attack? And is it really them or those clones? We don't know. There's a lot going on out there, isn't there? Because everything's getting shaken up. It's kind of rattling. The globe's rattling. And why is it rattling? Because we're in the middle of a spiritual war. The spiritual war between good and evil is going on. We're in the midst of it. But I'm going to share with you not to have any fear, because guess what? We have personal power within us. And there's something that we can grab from our root chakra and pull it right up, and we can have more energy than you ever imagined. It's about how you think. When you have low vibrational energies and you're like, tune into your heart and you say, what's going on? How am I feeling? And if you're feeling sad, of course you're going to be, dulled down, and you're going to be exhausted, and maybe you have so much stress from this matrix that we've been living in. Keep going, gotta get going, hurry, get that prize, knock everybody down, but don't take it personally. It's just business. That's ridiculous. It matters if you knock someone down. We're in the middle of this spiritual war. And the spiritual war is basically good and evil. It's real. It's the apocalypse. Right now we're experiencing. But, when I say that, I don't mean that there's going to be these cataclysmic events that knock all of us to our deaths. And maybe there's going to be some environmental changes. Maybe there'll be some flooding or some fires or some volcanic eruptions. But we're not going to pass away. None of that's going to happen. Basically, what's going to happen is the matrix is going into the dumpster, and it really is at this point, whether you realize it or not. And so the leaders are losing their power. Those in wealth are now being put into the dumpster because we realize exactly who they are. We know about the R's, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the bloodlines and the Illuminati and the Freemasons and the secret societies and all of this that has been around for hundreds of years. And they've been running the show. And guess what? Their time is up. They're done. And so what's going to happen is all of the heavens have come down. All the divine energies have landed here. The angels are greeting us. And anyone who's awakened, and when I say awakened, that means that you know that you don't have to live in that reality. It's a mindset. It's about what you really want. You have what's called free will. You're sovereign. You don't have to give away your permission. If you follow the line, we were raised to follow the line. Get in line, sit in a classroom, conform. And that took our power away. What if you woke up tomorrow and I said to you, you can have your home, you have enough food, you have a car, and you can do whatever you would like? Would you know what you would like to do? Would that make you uncomfortable because maybe that's too many decisions? Oh no, I want someone to tell me what to do. You have personal power. It's like put on your big boy pants or big girl pants and get up and be whoever you're supposed to be. You knew when you were born and incarnated on this new earth, Gaia. It was in your heart. It was in your spirit. And you were in this dreamlike state when you were a child, and you saw everything for what it was, and you had truth within you. And then you were compressed and you were slammed into these systems, and these systems programmed you. They told you what to think, what to say, who to be. And you're supposed to get an education and be really serious. And then when you get out of school, you're supposed to go to more school. And then you have to work 9 to 5. And then after 40 or 50 years of working and being exhausted, and once a year, maybe you go on a vacation and you're paying taxes to the IRS and the government, We don't know where that money's going. And then you retire, and then guess what? You come down with some illness or disease because you're exhausted and your body's probably so tired of the matrix, and then you pass away. And then you pass away. Where was the joy? Where was the fun? No, we're not doing that anymore. We're saying, no, thank you. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new reality. So the matrix is going in the dumpster. And then we are bringing into this physical reality beauty and nature, and whatever our purpose and our passion is. And that's what we're going to create. And that's where we're going. So depopulation, the NWO plan was known as population control programs. And so they violated basic human rights, and they wanted the Great Reset of 2030. Now we know that they've doubled down because they got really scared because of the two timelines. Now the timeline that they were on, or they're on, in the Matrix, is the three-dimensional. It's very dense. It's all about control. It's all about villains and being concerned if someone's going to take you out. And like I said, the 9 to 5, all these systems, the government, the medical, the history. And that's the one timeline. And the timeline that I'm on, to the 5 dimension, which is about experiencing your personal happiness. It's about beautiful nature. It's about creating the reality we'd like. And so the NWO, the New World Order, decided that if it's going to be the good timeline's going to win, we've got to double down. We've got to show everyone that we're in charge. And so we're going to tell everyone that they have to eat bugs, eat insects, and that we're going to depopulate, and it's going to be a third of the population, and you are going to have nothing and be happy. Well, guess what? I consider those individuals who came up with that plan a small percentage of the globe. So we're going to throw them in the dumpster, and all of us who are left are going to create our new reality. And that's how it's going to go. Now, we know that Bill Gates spoke about a long time ago. I think it was 2005 on TED Talks. He was speaking about the medical, and he said if we do a really good job, the population will shrink. That's what he said. So it was a plan for a while. They've been planning this. Now, before we get on to divine truths, let me just remind you that there's something called, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Bilderberg Group, and they have an annual meeting in Switzerland, and it's the elite and the politicians and the business leaders, and they do a lot of organizing of our lives. So become aware of that. And they too have this interest in depopulation, as well as the secret societies, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. There we go. So I said it all. And is there any glitches right now? Because I said all these names that I'm not supposed to, but I'm okay with that because you know how I am. I'm a truth seeker. I'm a rebel, not the rebels that create havoc out there, the rebels that believe there's another reality. And maybe because I'm saying it with a smile on my face, it's okay. Now, anyone out there, have you been looking for some kind of relief from everything that you're experiencing? And when I say everything, just the stresses and all of this chaos that's going on out in the world. And we can see it. And if you're paying attention, you know that everything just seems a little off kilter. Like sometimes it feels maybe a little bit swirly. Maybe it feels as though there's some chaos. You might feel a little bit lost. And of course, we can experience that because we do have a lot of stress. We are experiencing anxiety. And when you have anxiety, what happens? Well, maybe your heart races. Maybe your blood pressure raises. Maybe you kind of grab onto things. You hold your breath. So let's be aware of this. And let's consider that maybe we have to even focus on, from time to time, letting out a breath. Now, I know when I've practiced psychic phenomenon with you, or I've done a visualization, I've said that one of the first steps is let out a breath. And so I'm just recommending this right now in this moment. Let's all let out a breath. Say whatever's going on with you. Maybe talk it out. You know, if you have a thought right now or something that's you're holding on to from the day, Say it out loud, whatever it's it. Let me think if I can think of anything that I'm holding on to. I'm really not. I've kind of let everything go. I do this and I'm kind of bringing all of my energies, all of me together, all the different systems within me. We're very complicated. We're a complex being of light. We have our spiritual, we have our mental, we have our physical, we have our emotional, and then we have all of our organs. We have our spirit, we have our heart, our mind, and then we have all these frequencies that are kind of coming at us all the time, whether you realize it or not. Now, I've shared with you that animals experience this and they are very aware. They just can't speak to us and communicate with us and say, ow, that hurts, ow, that hurts. But when you have your puppy dog, and if there's a high sound, if let's say a fire alarm goes off, is that sound bothering us to the extent our puppy dogs? No, they freak out. They say, they're like whining a little bit because it's very, it's bothering them. Or they might hear something, some kind of very, a frequency that we can hear sound wise, and you can see that they're just stressed. Well, it's the same for us. We're so used to it now. We don't realize that our nervous system can be distressed by certain frequencies. And that comes through in the cell towers, that comes through in the Wi-Fi. You think that's not affecting you? I did one video and I spoke about how you're supposed to be a certain distance from your router. And where I live, I'm not far enough from my router. I think it's 50 feet or something crazy. It's some big, maybe it's 30 feet from your router you're really supposed to be. Sometimes people are living in the room that their router is sleeping in the room. That's not healthy for us. So just be aware. We have to be aware. We are sacred beings of light. And when I'm bringing this up, I'm trying to explain to you that when we have all these frequencies, sometimes it affects our concentration and our focus. And it causes us to not be able to carry out our thoughts and not to be aware as much of what we're thinking of. So, maybe you want to put earplugs in. I did that for a while when the 5G towers came out. I couldn't understand why my mind was not really connecting so well. So just be aware, of all these frequencies, and turn off the phone whenever you can, and the technology, and to sit in front of a computer or, by a cell tower or your router for very long is going to upset your system. And this is also going to affect us. So divine truths. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm coming live from New York. Today we're covering depopulation, which I just did, divine truths, and of course, highly advanced humans. I'm going to share with you some ways to connect to the divine if you are interested. And of course, psychic phenomenon at the end. We'll get onto that. And we're going to exercise our clairsenses because all of us have the ability to be clairvoyant, whether you realize it or not. It's pretty exciting. And that's where the world is going. This new earth that we are on, that we've been here for. It's a very exciting time. Peace on earth. That is going to be the mode of communication, is going to be telepathy. Now, that's the way it was in Tartaria. Have you ever heard of the Tartaria civilization? That is how they communicated. And there was free energy. We can receive free energy from ether. There's not just 4 elements of nature. It's air, water, earth, and fire. There's also ether, which is beyond the clouds. And that's what Nikola Tesla used to create free energy, and Tartaria. So divine truths. Truth is eternal. It's absolute reality, surpassing excellence. When I say divine truths, I'm referring to truth as it relates to God. And it comes directly from God. There are divine truths, and I've shared with you there's divine events coming. And maybe those out there like myself, these YouTubers who are talking about this expanded awareness and being in the 5th dimension and all about the 144,000 light workers. We are all referring to these divine events, and one of them, which is the solar flash. We hear and we know that the solar flash is coming, and the solar flash that means that the sun is going to be sending us very strong solar flares. And it's been going on since May, or I guess early spring. And it's been going on gradually. And if you have received any light codes, it's happening because of the solar flares and because of this, the solar flare, that solar flash that is going to eventually hit us totally. Now our bodies have to prepare for this. And the solar flash will be when the divine event will be when blinding white light covers the entire globe and everyone is fully awakened, everyone who hasn't been awakened. Now, if you found us and you're on this timeline, welcome. You're on the fifth dimension timeline. That's where we are right now. We spoke about last week about jumping timelines. And maybe because you're here with me today, you've jumped onto this timeline, which we all have the best timeline for ourselves. And that is going to be where you belong. And as you become more acquainted with yourself, and that means that you are knowing yourself, you've tuned inward, you've turned inside of you to discover everything that's within you. And when I say that, I mean all your junk, all the naughty stuff you did, any shame, any good stuff, any karma, any traumas, any triggers, all of that is going to flood you. It's going to rise up and you're going to have to look at it and it's going to be awful. And we all are going to have to do it. And when we become awakened, that's one of the tasks that we have to pass through. It's like you're passing through this pile of poo portal, and it's all about everything that you've ever regretted in your life, but you come to terms with it. And when you come out the other side, you realize, whew, thank gosh, that's over. And then you think you're done, and then someone challenges you, and you realize there's more still to be. But the good news is you become more of yourself, more of the beautiful, the glorious individual that you are, that you were born to be. So everything that you've experienced in this lifetime will basically wash off of you, and you'll feel bright and shiny. So this weekend, before we get on to finish Divine Truths, I'm going to mention I went to church this weekend because I'm a churchgoer. I believe in God, in Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary, the Holy Spirit. And I went to church, and I said, sometimes you go to church and you have all of these energies coming at you, because I'm empathic. And because I'm empathic, what happens, unfortunately, if I'm not aware and I don't say light surround me, everyone's moods hit me. If someone's in a bad, rotten mood, all of a sudden I absorb it. And then I say, oh, I don't feel so good. And I realize I absorb that person's energies. So you can imagine what happens to me when I go into a crowd of people like church, and it was packed. And so I'm sitting there and I'm trying to get past all of these energies. And then I did a prayer, and I prayed to God and the Virgin Mary and the Holy Spirit and angels and Jesus. And then I said, ta-da, basically. And all of a sudden, I saw my third eye, because my third eye is activated. Is your third eye activated yet? We're going to make sure that it is, and we'll get into that. And all of a sudden, I saw before me all of this light coming towards me. And I heard, because I'm hearing from an outside source, because I'm clairvoyant, and we've spoken how you're clairvoyant is also, I heard, you are light. You are light. And so I'm sharing that with you because I realize that if we ask, we shall receive. And if we stay here long enough and we have patience with this, if we have patience with tuning inward, if we have patience with prayer, we have patience with asking. Maybe you're asking for an angel to come into your world, and maybe you need some guidance. Angels are messengers of God. They're celestial beings from the heavens. They ascend and descend on a staircase from heaven. If you ask, you shall receive. And there's so many possibilities. You might create a mystical experience for yourself, by asking, maybe going out into nature. So these divine truths come directly from God. And we find that in our lives, there are those out there that we can be very grateful for having in our lives. And those individuals and those relationships are based on honesty and integrity. And we kind of want that within ourselves. And that's one of the divine truths, honesty and integrity, which means you're telling your truth and you're actually probably doing, as I would say, your best commitment. Integrity is basically having a good intention. You're doing everything you could possibly do right, and you care to. You have discernment over it. So consider that. Consider that, just these are just reminders. I'm making suggestions. Not everything I say is going to resonate with you, but I'm just making suggestions because, as I said, I'm about healing yourself, right? So divine forces are universal and they transcend human capacities. So let's deepen our connection with the divine. And I'm going to make some suggestions right now if you're open to it, okay? So what I'm referring to when I say this, deepen your connection with the divine, it means it's a supernatural energy. It's something beyond our comprehension. I don't know when we'll experience this, but hopefully we will. We'll experience this divine energy, maybe a divine event. Maybe you've experienced a miracle. You thought something was just hopeless, and you looked outward for help, or you turned inward and you prayed, whatever it may be, and you were granted a miracle. I felt as though I've been granted miracles in my lifetime. Even a few months ago, I had a relationship that had no repair, and it seems as though I was lucky like that in a flash, and I felt it happen. And when a miracle occurs, if you're really tuned in and you know your senses, you will sense a miracle when it does occur. So let's remind ourselves some ways to deepen our connection with the divine, because this is possible. Okay, I'm going to list a few. Here we go. Here's some ways to deepen your connection with the divine. 1, letting go of expectations. Do you always expect something? Are you always projecting the outcome? Let's let go of an expectation. Let's live in the moment more. Because when we project it, like I said earlier, we are basically creating a thought. So you're creating the outcome. It's more of an experience, an adventure. Let's just see whatever the outcome is going to be. Let's not have any expectations. Let's let it be whatever it's going to be. Let's have our best commitment, our best intention. 2, we want to release attachments in the way we think things should be. And I've said to you, we have this sack of attachments that we're carrying around. And when I say that, an attachment is going to be some kind of thing that we thought something should be, or a way it should go, or a belief system, or an idea. Let's let go of attachments. Let's let go of expectations. And this is how we're going to deepen our connection, because we're living in the moment and we're not projecting. We have to let things go, let out a breath. Let whatever's going to happen and come to you. More than you realize. You don't have to sit here and hold on and control everything. Well, how is this going to be? Like, this has to equal this. This has to be A, B, C has to happen in my life. No, we can have a plan and let everything else go. 3, quiet the voices of your ego, and some cater to and let it so that the voice of inner wisdom can come through. So I'm saying, quiet the voices of your ego so you don't have all the answers. You have to stop believing that you don't have all the answers all the time. In fact, a lot of times our thoughts are leading us astray because it is programming. It's mind control. It's what we were taught. We weren't given the freedom of thought. We are sovereign. So let that go. Let's let go of whatever we think something's going to be and tune into our inner wisdom. Okay, so making changes might be scary when we are faced with uncertainty. So it might be scary, but allow it to happen. So just let things go a little bit more and not hang on, not control. It's about letting go of control. And then 5, being service to others, and maybe in an unexpected way help someone out. Someone who's in a place of vulnerability, or they're weak, help them out. Give them a leg up. And it's, what was that? Pay it forward, and that will come through. And it's not really about receiving any kind of reward for doing it. It's just about service to others. Law of one. We are all part of each other, whether we realize it or not. If something goes wrong to any living creature on this earth, it's affecting each one of us in some way. So we're creating a world of love and peace. Now, so all changes are based on our willingness and our courage to take the guidance we receive. So you might receive some message and be like, nah, I don't care about that. And when I say you might receive a message, you might receive some information from a stranger, for someone reminds you of something, and you just disregard it. Or you might receive it through an impression. An impression is going to be, maybe it's a knowing from an outside source, maybe thought transference, telepathically. You might see something in your mind's eye, in your third eye. You might hear something. You might have clairaudience. Don't disregard. Make note of it. Write down anything that you receive. And the more you practice your clairsenses, the more you're going to receive. So when the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide you to all your truth. The truth is in accordance with fact or reality and the practice of God's truth. And I'm just here to remind you that there's more to this world than just us. And there is something beyond our passing. That's in a whole nother realm. This is just one visual that we see, this physical reality. And as you awaken and you ascend to the 5th dimension, which is a higher consciousness, it's a state of, have you ever meditated when you're in this state of basically really calming spirit? It feels very pure. You feel very free and relaxed. That's the 5th dimension. That's what you will feel like 24/7. And you'll just see light around you, and you'll see the ascended masters. You'll see all kinds of different entities and beings. And you're just going to have this love in your heart that's permanent. It's not going to leave you. You're just going to want to forgive others. And we're going to be communicating telepathically, because we are highly advanced beings of light. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. As highly advanced beings of light, exactly what does that mean? Well, we are very beautiful beings as natural, organic, light beings. And we have this DNA that's within us. And we've had in the past, whether we realize it or not, there's been, hey, Thomas Grant, hey, AW, hi, thanks for all you do. Aw, thanks. AW, you coming from Connecticut? And Thomas Grant, AW, is this the first time AW's come on here a lot live? I love that. So Thomas Grant's from Australia. Hey, howdy. Thanks for joining us. I hope you guys like the video and subscribe. We're just covering depopulation, the New World Order, depopulation. All of these, they're trying to decrease the 8 billion on the globe. They're trying to share with us that it's because they need to do that because of climate change and not enough food resources, as they burn all of these food plants. And as they tell the farmers, you can't farm anymore. I think it's in the Netherlands, I want to say. Yes, it is you. And, I'm just sharing with you that we have personal power. We can say no, thank you. So have discernment. And we just covered the divine truths and how to have a deeper connection with the divine. And we're getting on to highly advanced humans. So we are natural and organic, and the DNA is within us, and we are cracking open our light codes. Like I say, crack open your heart, where our light codes every single day with more light coming, and this veil has been removed, and all of the evil is being shown to us. And don't forget, it's not over yet. We have to stand true to ourselves, and we can't let evil take over. Now, I believe a lot of evil is gone already. I believe that they're basically just an avatar of their previous self, or they're a clone, or they're wearing a mask, or because a lot of this seems to be undercover. We have what is it called? An undercover government, a secret government. There's white hats and black hats. I've heard about the black hats and the white hats. We know the white hats were the good guys, and the black hats are the bad ones. And is there some kind of or underground government? I'm not quite sure, but moving on. So previous civilizations existed in which ancient technological civilizations were highly advanced, and so were we. And we are highly advanced, whether we realize it or not. Humanity has reached the moment for light to shed all the darkness, and that's where we're at, aren't we? And to take their position as highly advanced beings of light. And so what you're going to realize as time goes on, and it's probably going to happen. We are in December, and it's a big month of light. December is going to be great. I know there's some portals coming up in some very important days, because more light is being brought onto the earth. And with that, more of us are going to be awakened. And then those like us who are being awakened, we're at the front of the line, and everyone else is behind us. And so we're awakened. And so we are here ahead of everyone else to welcome them, to share with them our experiences, and to bring humanity to an awakened state. And so we are going to be receiving and evolving through these light codes. So more of you is going to become aware. You're going to be able to have much more advanced minds and physicalities. Eventually we will be able to have, like I said, telepathy, teleportation, levitation, time travel. And so our evolution is as sacred beings of light continues. Light codes will activate our DNA. And as I said earlier, I received some light codes over the weekend, and what I saw was similar to this. And I saw one of them had doves passing, and it's always usually two colors. So it's usually a dark background with some kind of, it was blue light. And so light codes activate our DNA blueprints. We all have these DNA blueprints within our bodies, within our cells. And we were told that only 2% of our DNA was worth something, and the rest was junk. But we're finding out that 100% of our DNA is worth something. And so we have advanced, powerful characteristics. And when I say that, what I'm referring to is, I mean that whether you realize it or not, you're going to be able to do some of these physical, I guess, movements and see things beyond your imagination. Everything that you saw in sci-fi on the television that we were told was just science fiction is going to be reality. That's where we're going. And so we are decoding the human spirit, strengths of character like love, humility, forgiveness, the ability to organize the life journey through insight and wisdom. And we are, without even trying, becoming more highly advanced every single day that passes. We're going to be sacred, high power, divinity, and we're going to have qualities associated with the divine, like pureness and light and love, transcendence. We're going to be boundless, and we're going to have deep connectedness. And all of this, we are all going to basically, hey, circle activations. So circle is coming from, hold on, circle. I think circle is coming, it didn't really ever share where circle's coming from. Where are you coming from, circle? If you want to share, you can. And so we are basically headed towards this light. So when I say we're ascending and everyone who's awakened, Where are we going? To this place of light. And in this place of light that we are going to exist, because it's going to be in our mind, our spirit, our heart, and our physical being. We're not traveling to another location. We're going to be here on this new earth. It's just that our perception and we are changing. So everything that we see is going to change as well. And in this light that we're headed towards is where we're going to be able to connect to everyone. So everyone's going to connect to each other in this place of light. Oh, California. There we go. Thank you. I'm so glad you're sharing that with us. So we are going to become one. That's why I say that we are all connected to each other. We all are beings of light. And it's just that we haven't realized that, but now we're realizing that. So we're going to experience the sacred through connections and closeness of one with humanity, oneself, all living beings, and nature. We are going to feel like we can communicate with an animal, with a tree, with water. And if you open up your mind and you believe this, you will see the more that you accept all of this, the more that will come through to you. And maybe it's not going to happen overnight. And that's why we're receiving these solar flares. And the solar flash will be basically the ultimate divine event. Because anyone who hasn't accepted the light, accepted to leave the matrix, will probably go someplace else. I'm not quite sure. But everyone else will be left who's open to awakening. So the pathway to the sacred through meditation or prayer, spiritual beliefs, mystical encounters, and sacred moments. We all have an opportunity to become more highly advanced every single day. And maybe today at the when it hits the 1 hour is when we do the psychic phenomenon. That's usually, so we have 9 more minutes of me talking about this. Or maybe I'll head on to it earlier. So how do you achieve this? Well, having a positive personality and positive relationships and positive health. And so be aware of what you eat, drink plenty of water, try to sleep as much as you can, because when you sleep, you're receiving more downloads. You're able to connect with more light. And it's actually pretty exciting. And when I don't get a download for a little bit of time, I kind of say, where's the downloads? I want to see some kind of unusual views. When I close my eyes, I would like to see something. But, it's not really up to me. I can ask for it. It's really about the universe, what the universe is bringing us. So to have a fulfilled life with meaning and purpose is where we're headed. To pursue cultivating a good relationship, make positive impact on the world, and wholeness in its entirety. The capacity to see and approach life with breadth and depth. A person with a past, present, and future. That's where we're going. We're going to see everything all at once. And we are doing, while we practice our psychic phenomenon, we are actually reaching to other realms. We're tuning inward to all of our abilities, and we can create joy in our future and love and forgiveness. And that's one of the exercises we're going to be practicing today. So we're going to see beyond ordinary existence as we become more highly advanced. So light codes technically are energy patterns that all of creation emits within them is encoded healing energy. And so thoughts and imprinted emotions. And so maybe you are practicing psychic phenomenon. Maybe you are doing a meditation. Maybe you're doing breath work, and you will receive more light into your system. And when I say more light, I'm referring to you literally will either see light when you close your eyes, or you will feel your body, you will sense that you're having some kind of expansion within you, maybe your legs, your arms, maybe your crown chakra, and it will feel like a little bit of a vibration. So just be aware of that. Now, everyone has these light codes within them, and their signature and memory imprints. And we each have specific light codes individually. So I'm not going to receive the same light codes as you, and so on. It's basically creating your most authentic version of you. Okay, so let's get on to psychic phenomenon. I'm ready to do that. And you also might receive, if you're receiving light codes, you might receive sacred geometry, which are ancient ancient symbols or ancient shapes. You can look them. Like, have you ever heard of the Merkaba, which is when there's two triangles that come together, lock together, and spin? It's an ancient memory, an ancient vehicle of light. So one triangle spins one way and the other triangle spins the other. So imagine coming down upon you this very large triangle, and the point comes right here. So here's the large triangle, and it's covering your whole entire body. And one is coming from the heavens, and one triangle is coming from the earth, and they lock together, and then they're spinning, and it's healing. And that's why I say at the end of a video, I say I'm spinning light around you, and you're in the center of it. And that's a Merkaba. It's an ancient healing vehicle, light vehicle. Okay. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, I don't know if anyone's been practicing their psychic phenomenon. And what I can share with you about psychic phenomenon is basically you are getting to know yourself a little bit more, and it's about tuning into each of your senses. Your clairsense of hearing, which is your clairaudience, your clairvoyance, which is your third eye, your mind's eye. And that means that when you're looking, you can look into another realm and see what's going on there. So if I look right now in my mind's eye of what's going on here, and I drop down into my senses, so I'm really tuning in. It's not about thinking. When you're doing psychic phenomenon, it's not about thinking, because a thought is something that was programmed, that was put into your mind, not necessarily by you. When we tune into our psychic phenomenon, all of our senses, we are really tuning into universal truths. We are tuning in someplace else. We are connecting to a source we are receiving outside information. But we have this ability. If you practice, you will know this. Maybe it's your sense of smell, your sense of taste, your sense of feeling. You're empathic. Maybe it's your sense of touch. This is sense of sight. And that's what we are practicing. We are practicing all of our clairsenses. Now, you will master at least one, and I'm sure you're capable of at up to 3, mastering 3 of these. Maybe you are a channel. Maybe you're a medium. Maybe you're a clairvoyant. But let's just practice this, because this is where the world is going. We are all going to be telepathic, and it's going to happen very quickly. I would say within 3 to 5 years, everyone will be operating telepathically, just because we are all going to go to the light and connect to the light. And when we connect to the light, our minds are all going to be one, and we're all going to be connected. It's going to be very interesting, isn't it? Okay, so here we go. Let's do a clairsense exercise. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Mary Amy, and this is Living in the Light. And let me remind you to be in this moment. When I say be in this moment, realize here I am in this moment. I'm touching this mug. There's a desk here. There's a couch here. Be aware of this moment. Let out a breath. Let any thoughts before this moment go. Let it all go. It doesn't matter. It's not helping you right now. Be in this moment. Okay, here we go. So we're going to do an exercise. Let's let out a breath. Let's relax our body. Let go of any tension from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Maybe you need to tense up and let go, and tense up and let go. And let's really tune into our breathing, because the deeper we go, the more information we're going to receive. You will receive impressions. Now, if you have doubt, it's not going to work. You can't say, this isn't going to work, because then it's not. You have to say, of course it's going to work. I can do this. It's not complicated. You have this ability within you. You are a sacred being of light. You are worthy. You are beautiful. You are full of love. Okay? So let's let go. Let out a breath if you have to talk it out. Okay, and we're going to let go of any thoughts, and any doubt. We're going to drop down into our senses. You're going to make physical contact. So it's like a little puzzle piece in a kid's puzzle, and you're dropping it down into the puzzle. You know those jigsaw puzzles? Boop! That's what it's like. You're just setting it in. It's fitting right down in you. You're surrendering to your senses. Okay. Now this is going to be physical contact, and you're going to check all of your senses. We're going to quickly go through them. Okay, so when I say this, that means with that sense, you're going to tune into that sense, and with all your might, for example, dropping down, surrendering, you're going to be listening. What are you hearing in the space that you're in right now? This is just so that you become more connected to each of your senses. And the more connected you are to the senses, the more apt you are to predict events, have premonitions, and it's like you can become aware of memories that you forgot. You'll start to have mental pictures. Okay, so we're tuning in. So let's practice right now. Now, what are you hearing in the space that you're in? For me, I'm hearing some of the technology. I hear some cars pass down by on the road because I have my window open. So what are you hearing? Now, when you hear that to that extent, then you want to hear how far can you hear? Can you hear down a block away? And that takes concentration and that takes focus, and that's what we're doing right now. So we're tuning in. Can you hear a block away, even if the window's not open? The reason I'm practicing this and the reason why I'm making this suggestion is whether you realize it or not, when you really tune into your hearing and you start to connect with all of your senses, your feelings, and your emotions, wild, supernatural, mystical experiences are going to begin to happen to you. Maybe it's going to be in your dream state, in the astral realm. Maybe it's going to be you're just having a conversation with someone and a flash of information comes in, data. Everyone, it's personal. So what is happening to me is not necessarily going to happen to you, but I guarantee you will master one of these clear senses with practice. And the reason why I'm asking you to really tune in beyond is because eventually you're going to be able to tune into other realms. Okay, so now you practice that. I'd like you to, if your third eye is open, your mind's eye. Now, if it's not, imagine light hitting your third eye. It's all about the power of suggestion, and it's accepting it and having a willingness to have this knowing. You have a knowing within you. You will be able to tell the difference between your thought and a programmed thought eventually. You'll say, that's not my thought. I heard that someone said it, and I think it's true. You don't know it's true. Was it your thought? Did you see it with your own eyes? That's what we're referring to here. Becoming more aware of what's going on in this physical reality and what's going on within us. Okay? So let's see. Anyone out there who's tuning in, we're just doing our checks, and then I'm going to make a suggestion, and then we're going to travel. We're going to travel somewhere else. Okay, so your third eye, if it's activated, are you seeing anything in your third eye? Are you tuning in? What are you seeing? I just saw in my third eye, I saw a bear. Let's see. Now, if any thoughts come down, you want to send them back up because this is just purely about your senses. Whipped cream. Don't ask me what that's about. A bear and whipped cream. Okay, strange. We're going to get out of that because that's strange. Heart. Now I'm going to say tune into your feelings, tuning into your heart, which is empathic. Now, if you are a creative soul, maybe you're a writer, maybe you're an artist, a performer, it's going to be easy to do the feeling one. It's going to be easy to do some of these because you've been connecting. If you're someone who's all about numbers, all about math, I'm practical, I'm an idealist, this might be a little bit more difficult, so have patience. Okay, so we're tuning into our heart right now. These are to remind ourselves how to connect to all of our senses. So if I tune into my heart, what am I feeling? Am I feeling sadness? Am I feeling hope? Am I feeling anger? Am I feeling glorious? What am I feeling? I'm feeling a lot of light. In fact, I'm seeing like outbursts of of light come out from my heart. So that's what's going on with me. Now, if you're feeling down right now, we can change that, right? We can change our thoughts. We can shift away from negativity. Journal it, write down all of your feelings every day for a week without any worrying about grammatical errors or punctuation. Don't look at it, just write it down by releasing it. Talk to someone. Let it go at a body of water. There's ways to release it. And, it's up to you. This is all up to you. No one really cares about us out here. The only person who really cares, maybe a mother cares about a child, but most people are living their lives. You have to take care of you. You have to tune inward and really be committed to this. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions matter. Okay? All right, so we just did our hearing, our sight, our clairvoyance, our heart, maybe your smell, your taste, your sense of feeling. If you put your hands out there, what are you feeling? Do you feel any vibrations on your hands? Okay, so now that we tuned into all of our clear senses, we're going to do an exercise. Okay, so we're going to go through the steps, and then I'm going to make a suggestion. We're going to see what you receive. Okay, here we go. We let out a breath. We relax. If we have to talk it out, we do. We send away any thoughts, and we also send away any doubt. Now, there's not going to be any proof. You're going to have trust. You're going to have trust that you can do this. And we're going to drop down into our senses and surrender to our senses. And we're going to feel like we're making physical contact with all of our senses, like we just did. Okay? Now we're going to have focus and concentration and patience. And if a thought comes down, you're going to send it back. Now I'd like you to pick one of your clear senses. So your hearing, your sight, your smell, your taste, your feeling, your touch, and pick one of them. If you want, pick two of them if you can tune in. Okay, so I'd like you to pick one of your clear senses. So for me, I'm going to tune in. This seems to work for me very, very much so now, is my clairaudience, my hearing. So I'm tuning into my hearing, and I'm going to add my touch because that's going to help me. So I'd like you to tune in as you pick one of your clear senses, and I'm going to make this suggestion. We're going to move to tomorrow, December 6th. And I'm making this, we're going to time travel. We are going to, tomorrow, I'm making the suggestion, it's tomorrow, and tomorrow you are going to feel the emotion of love. I'm not telling you what time, but I'd like you to, with your clear sense, whatever it is that you choose, you're going to go to tomorrow, and you're going to receive the emotion of love. Now, when I make that suggestion, I'm going to be quiet now, and let's see what impressions you receive when you create this. You're receiving love tomorrow on December 6th, Tuesday. Okay, so let me just say, when we do this, and when you tune in, what I'm suggesting is it's tomorrow, December 6th, and when I say you're experiencing love, the emotion of love, and it doesn't matter what time, you're basically tuning into one of your senses. You're trying to what are you receiving? Are you receiving a sound? Are you seeing something? And then you're just feeling the emotion of love. Now, for me, what happened was all of a sudden, I keep looking closer. And I'm saying to you, when you start receiving an impression, so let's say right away when I said that, you received a flash. For example, I saw myself looking down at something. And then thoughts come in and I say, go away, thoughts. And I continue to look down to see what it is I'm looking down at. And then I see that I'm putting on my socks. I'm putting on some clothes. And it's early in the morning and I'm going to the gym. And then it further takes me further. And then I sensed I received love at that moment. Now, I'm giving you this information because I want to share with you, when you start to receive impressions, if you shut the impression down, it will stop. It's when you accept it. So you stay there and you continue to accept it. And when you continue to accept it, more will come through. Hey, Tommy, thanks for joining us. Okay, so I don't know if anyone else received anything. So I'm just going to do this for a minute longer. And so tomorrow I'm saying we tune into one of your senses. And so I'm tuning into my clair audience. And so I'm hearing. And I am saying tomorrow, December 6th, receive love. And what am I going to see? And what's going to happen? So you're basically projecting yourself to tomorrow, and you are time traveling to tomorrow, and you are receiving love. So let's try it for a little bit longer, and then we're going to go on to another exercise. Okay. So the reason why, I just want to share before we move on to the next, the reason why I know that this is beneficial to you is because the other day we did the same exercise and I said, go to joy. And it was a day or two later that I woke up and I literally had this feeling of joy. So I basically created it. So it's about cause and effect. You can create the outcome more than you know. And it's kind of a little bit of an experiment, isn't it? Because let's see what happens for you. And I'm telling you after you've done it. So I didn't tell you before because I don't want you to be thinking about it so much. So before we go, let us just do the ball of light. And anyone who's been coming through, they know what the ball of light is all about. And so we're creating a ball of light. And this too is also helping with your clair senses. And I just dropped them into the water. Okay, so we're rubbing our hands together and we're taking them away from our body. And hopefully when we open up our hands, we're going to feel some kind of vibration. Now, I've shared with you, if you have some kind of medication you're on, maybe a pain, something, if you have a headache and you're taking it, some kind of, I don't know, some kind of over-the-counter pain medication, you're not going to necessarily feel it so much. But for me, I feel it like it's electric. And this is, as time has gone on, I felt more and more on my palms of my hand. So you should be having your hands about this far apart. And then if you want to cup them, you're creating this ball of light. And you're bringing light onto the earth. Okay? You're bringing light into this physical reality, which will actually be beneficial to you because you're bringing positivity, you're bringing energy, and you're creating it with yourself, with your being. And, you're kind of putting it in your energy field because we all have an energy field that's around us. Okay, and this is helping with your concentration and focus. Okay, so we have this ball of light. And in the past, we've said, okay, we're traveling with this ball of light. Today, what I'd like you to do is, you're holding your ball of light. And anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. There's my little commercial. And you're holding this ball of light. And I'd like you to imagine, I've done this in the past, we're going to do it again. It's been a while. I'd like you to imagine you're holding this ball of light. Now, when you're holding this ball of light and we're adding a suggestion, remind yourself to let out a breath. We don't want to be holding our breath. We want to receive all these impressions. Maybe it's a sensation, maybe you hear a sound, maybe it's a visual, a mental picture. So we let out a breath and we relax into our body like we're a rag doll. I forgot to mention that today. We are a rag doll. And of course, we're still holding the bowl of light, but we're a rag doll. And we're basically tuning in as much as we can deeply. And we're letting go of any thoughts that we cannot achieve this and any thoughts that it's not possible or any doubt. And we're going to drop down into our senses and we are going to connect with all of our different senses. Maybe it's your clairvoyance, maybe your clairaudience, your hearing, your smell, your taste, your sight, your feeling, your touch. Okay, and so we're going to drop down and we're going to drop down into our senses. You're going to pick one of your senses. So I'm going to pick right now, which I usually do when my eyes are open, my clairvoyance, which is my third eye, which is a space right between your two eyebrows. And I'm going to see, what do I see with my ball of light? Okay, so now we've tuned into a clear sense. Now we're going to add that we're outside with this ball of light. So you're outside and we're going to make it a far distance. So you're outside at, let's see, you're outside at a friend's house with the ball of light. And there we go. We added something extra. You're outside, you're holding the ball of light and you're at a friend's house right now in this moment. And now it's dark here in New York. So I guess I'm outside with the ball of light and you pick a friend's house and then you drop down. And what impressions are you receiving? Okay, so let me tune in. I'm going to do my clairvoyance, which is my third eye. I'm going to just be quiet for a minute and see what I receive. Okay, so I received that I was in the backyard and there was actually, I heard some noises and it's dark, so it kind of freaked me out a little bit. And I think there was some kind of, I don't know, some kind of animals that I was hearing, and actually maybe some bats. So I was really uncomfortable. So then I sat down and let's see what else I received. Let me see. Oh, and so there's some kind of animal that's growling at me outside. I want to say it was a coyote. It was something, because obviously it's dark. What am I going to see? So right there in this location, it's kind of negative for me to be receiving this. So I don't know if this seems a little hostile. Where this is. Let me see one more second. I'm gonna see if I see anything else. And write in the chat anything you're receiving. Okay, so I just saw blue light and then someone came towards me with a flashlight. Interesting. Okay, so someone heard me out in the backyard. Maybe I made some noise. And let's see, what is that? Teleportation? Because I didn't receive that this is in the future. I received it was literally right now. Okay, so I'm putting my hands back together. So anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Today we covered depopulation, divine truths, highly advanced humans. Let me remind you about connecting to a deeper connection with the divine. We mentioned, hey Alexandra, thank you. We mentioned letting go of expectations. If you would like to connect more with the divine, let go of expectations. Release any attachments. So, and I say attachments, I mean any thoughts or beliefs that are from the past, something that is not yours. Let it go. We've been programmed with all this information that isn't necessarily our own thoughts. Quiet the voices of your ego and connect with the voice of your inner wisdom. So tune inward. Make changes. Making changes might be scary, and you're facing uncertainty in the future. So have some more faith that anything is possible. And then be service to others, because we are all connected, whether you realize it or not. Okay, well, I'll be back again tomorrow night, and then Wednesday I'll be doing a day video. I don't know if it'll be at 11 or it'll be like closer to 1 o'clock, but I'll be doing a day video. So I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it, and you're making a wish, and I'm sending you hope and light and love, and I'm telling you that we are all going to get through this together. You're in the center, and I want good things for you, and I'm sending you light and hope. Thanks, Thomas Grant. And I know that sometimes it feels as though nobody understands us. And maybe we feel like we are the dark horse, the least likely to win the race, but we are winning the race because we're in the front of the line. We're the first time arrivals on the 5th dimension. We are the 144 light workers and starseeds, and we're here to make a difference. And we are eventually all going to know each other in person. I'm sure that's going to happen. And I want good things for you all. And so remind yourself of your 3 authentic characteristics that make you a beautiful being, authentic, and whatever that is. Because when you're having a bad day, remind yourself of your 3 characteristics and stand on them. Maybe you have the most beautiful brown eyes, the greatest smile. Maybe you're an amazing friend, a perfect storyteller. You're amazing at sports. Whatever it is, 3. I know you have 100, but list 3 to start. And don't forget your 5 humongous goals. 5 humongous goals, because we are going to reach our destiny. We're going to reach our destiny. We're going to quantum leap. We're going to imagine our destiny right in front of us in this moment, and we're going to create it, because our thoughts create our reality. Okay? Thank you, Circle. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night, and I'll be back again tomorrow at 7 p.m. with new topics and more healing suggestions. Bye.